Okay, so now we're doing inequalities. We're still in 5.2. So you know the sign, so go like this. Sometimes they can be quite confusing. So we use less than and greater than. Sometimes people say smaller than, or some people say bigger than. Okay, it means the same thing, it doesn't matter. Okay, so sometimes it's confusing about which one to use, but remember the crocodile always eats the bigger number. So if I have a 2 here and a 10 here, you can see the crocodile teeth, and he's like, 10 is bigger than 2, so I eat the 10. So you always put the mouth of the sign towards the bigger number. That becomes a problem when you have negative numbers. So say it's -2 and -10. Whoops. Well, which one is bigger? Well, sometimes your brain goes 10's bigger. Well, let's check. -10, -2. You can see that -2 is actually bigger. And so the mouth of the crocodile goes towards the -2. So make sure you check here. Okay, so if I have -5 and -6, I just go -5, -6. -5 is bigger, so it goes towards that direction. Okay, so when you have negatives, use a number line and sort of check and see which one's bigger. The difficult part is knowing how to say it when you read it. Okay, so if I go to, okay, if I read it this way, when I go 2 and then I see the sign, I'm going to touch the smaller side of the sign first. So I go 2, and because I'm touching the smaller side of the sign, I say 2 is less than 10. Okay, but if I'm going to read it this way, 10, I say 10 first, and then I touch the bigger sign first, bigger side of the sign first. So I go 10 is bigger than 2. So let's do that again. If I have 1 and 5, the crocodile eats the bigger, oh, you can't even see me writing. Okay, we'll start again. Okay, so 1, let's say it out loud. 1, and because this sign, I'm going this way, I'm going to touch the smaller side of the sign first. So I go 1 is smaller than 5. But if I'm going to read it this way, and go 5 first, I'd go 5, and because I touch the bigger side of the sign first, I go 5 is bigger than 1. So you use 2 different words for the sign depending on which direction you read it. So here, if I read it this way, I go 2, smaller than 10, and if I read it this way, I'll go 10 is, I'm touching the bigger side first, 10 is bigger than 2. Okay? So if I look down here, which one's bigger? 8. So I make it go this way, and I read it this way. 8 is bigger than 5 because I'm touching the bigger side first. 7 is bigger, so the mouth goes towards that, and I'm going to read it this way, and so I'm going to go 2, and because I'm touching the smaller side first, I'm going to say 2 is smaller than 7. Which one's bigger? 6. So I make it this way, and when I read it this way, I'm going -1 and I touch the smaller side first, so I go -1 is smaller than 6. Which one's bigger? 4. So the mouth goes towards the big number, and when I read it this way, I go 4 and I'm going to touch the bigger side of the sign first, so I say 4 is bigger than 0. 5 is bigger, so I go this way. So I go 5, and I say 5 is bigger than -2. Which one's bigger? Here's 0, here's -2, and here's -6. So -2 is bigger. So I make it go this way. The mouth eats the bigger one. So if I read it this way, I go -2, and I touch the bigger side first. -2 is bigger than -6. Which one's bigger? Well, here's -5 and here's -10, so -5 is bigger. So I'm going to make the crocodile eat the -5. And if I want to read it this way, I go -5 and I touch the bigger side of the mouth first of this sign. I say -5 is bigger than -10. Okay, which one's bigger? 8. So the crocodile eats the 8. See, his mouth is going num, 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 num. And if we read it this way, it goes 8. You touch the bigger side first. 8 is bigger than 3. Next one, 10 is bigger. So I make it go this way. And if I read it this way, I'm going to touch the smaller side of the sign first. So I'm going to go -2 is smaller than 10. Which one's bigger? 5. So I make the crocodile sign eat the 5. And if I'm going to read it this way, I touch the smaller side of the sign first. So I go -4 is smaller than 5. Which one's bigger? 7. So the crocodile eats the 7. And if I read it this way, I go 7 is bigger than -5. They're the same. So when they're same, you just put equal.